forgive. And Jesus wants to be part of your life. And Jesus stands at the door and knocks. And Jesus can transform your heart. And Jesus can make a place where they fed animals into a place to be celebrated for 2,000 years so far. And He can make of your heart a place where God dwells, where goodness and justice reign, where light streams and casts out darkness. You know, the innkeeper in our play last week was a boy named Jimmy Paul. And Jimmy first came to our church this past summer during Vacation Bible School. And you've seen Jimmy on many Sundays since then when Nate was an usher for the month of October. After that first Sunday of the month, he asked Jimmy to help him. And Jimmy didn't miss a Sunday after that. So you've seen Jimmy walking up and down the aisles here. He's been an active and dependable help to this congregation. And so he took on the role of the innkeeper, holding his lantern up and shaking his head no to Mary and to Joseph. But Jimmy had two roles. He had a quick costume change, and so he picked up his staff, and he also played a shepherd. You know, I thought it was a stroke of genius to cast Jimmy Paul, one boy, as both the innkeeper and the shepherd. Because we see how different were the responses of those who were witnesses to that first Christmas. The innkeeper shook his head and said no room. And the shepherd was so excited that he rushed to worship Jesus. And so what our play showed us, that one boy, Jimmy Paul, the innkeeper and the shepherd, gave us a vivid visual reminder, is that the innkeeper and the shepherd live in all of us. Now sometimes we think that there is a great other, that is, that we're not like those other people who reject Jesus and do bad things. Yet even those of us who are followers of Jesus, who love Jesus, are imperfect people who don't always follow the teachings of Jesus, who reject what Jesus told us and how we live our lives. We worry and we covet and we want to be rich and important rather than to live with a servant's heart. And we get caught up in the world rather than in worship. We face daily decisions about who will prevail, our inner innkeeper who has no room for Jesus, or our inner shepherd who bows in worship. And that night that the shepherds were gathered with their flocks, the world was not a better place. It was not a more innocent place than it is now. It was in many ways a mean world, a world not unlike our own, that the message came to that dark